only the last 25 years, they create these modern artworks which are connected to the beauty of nature and wildlife. This is an ongoing industry, so if any of you go to South Africa, can look for Shangaan tapestries, you will find them. Cushion covers and so on, made by these wonderful artists, which avails them to earn money in the changing and modern world. Incidentally, if you look at a couple of them, you'll see that some of the artists have really embroidered their names at the bottom of the tapestries, not anonymous like the Ndebele. Symmetry is always favored. The colors speak of the African red earth and bright sunlight, of antelopes, deers, hippos, the great elephant, the powerful crocodiles, zebras, birds, and the tree of life, which is a very important part of the African belief system. The new South African Law Court, built on the site of a notorious prison, is built in the architectural shape of a tree, embodying the philosophy that the best way to solve problems is to sit beneath a tree and speak about the problem and solve it through understanding the point of view of the other. I can see it happening here, in Vienna, all over. So one of the wise proverbs urges, do not blow into the elephant's eye. This advises us not to interfere in matters concerning others. Very wise indeed. Another proverb is, the real fish is the first one, which means be satisfied with your first wife. Outside the door, as Helen mentioned, there are a few artifacts, and we're going to add to those as soon as our cabinet arrives. But you'll see a number of passport masks in there, and they are made by every culture in West Africa, in the Ivory Coast. Long before there were paper passports, Africans made colourful masks to identify tribes when travelling. They attached them to their chests and also to their arms. In the exhibition there are 3 male masks and the rest are women. Larger African masks, we just have one on the wall there, are part of ceremonial costumes and events representing the spirits of ancestors in order to control evil forces within their tribe through the magical powers of the spirit world. Picasso, among other 20th century artists, was inspired by the abstract designs in African tribal masks. The African style and culture certainly influenced modern and Western art. I'll just give you 1 or 2 personal thoughts. There is meaning in small things. Each tiny bead or embroidery thread is fragile on its own, but like drops of water in the sea or grains of sand gathered together, they are powerful and they tell the story of civilization. Beads and threads strung together are strong. They define and design the human need to survive, maintain, and have faith in womanhood, in continuity, in patience. I lost the last page. In patience,
continuity to inspire.
So I hope you really enjoy the language of the beads, the patient hands of all these wonderful artists, and any questions that I can answer, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you for coming.
Sybil, anybody else do that type of thing, or that? I mean, do they ever? Does that tribe ever do any of those things, and that tribe does any of those things?
No, you know, Ndebele beaded work is absolutely unique to South Africa. I'm sure you've seen other beaded items made by American Indians and so on.
But I mean the South African tribes.
No, this is just absolutely unique to the Ndebele women. And, you know, they've been doing it for the last 100 years. The Ndebele's were, of course, much older than 100 years, and they belonged to a huge tribe called the Nguni, I believe. And they had their tribal wars, and the chieftains fought, and they split, and they went off into different areas. And now you will find the Ndebele largely in the Gauteng province in South Africa, which is around Johannesburg, very close to Johannesburg. But that really is a vanishing art form. Now, the Shangaan, these tapestries are so new, they're only about 25 or 30 years old. And the Shangaan women are earning money from this and uplifting their households, which is a wonderful project in the Limpopo area.
Sybil, would you just say what the beads are made of?
You know, I tried to look up some of the beads today. A lot of them were bought in trading stores, and some even are European glass beads. And I guess in the early days, they came from trading stores. I'm not sure how long ago they were getting beads from Europe, glass beads from Europe. But if you examine those carefully, you will see some beads are so tiny, and those are the oldest pieces. Incidentally, that long train hanging there to the right of my husband is a wedding veil. So that would be worn during a wedding ceremony, and it's called a snake, a nyoga. And when they dance, it moves with the body and it looks like a snake. So, and you can see the geometric designs.
Oh, it's around the waist, isn't it?
Jeff?
How would you advise?
Animal skin. Animal skin.
Oh, it's just cotton. It's cotton, and the back of that is just about as good as the front. Beautiful, different stitches. Come up and have a good look at it.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Oh, I'm glad you laughed.
Are they strictly tapestry? I mean, they didn't use them as covers or blankets?
I think they're decorative. But you know, when you consider that the Ndebele made these pieces on my left here, sitting on the ground, they never had lights, they never had tables, they never had chairs. They sat on the ground. I've seen wonderful pictures with their legs out in front of them, lovingly creating these items for their daughters or their daughters-in-law. These pieces here are probably made to be tapestries, to be enjoyed, to earn money. And you know, I'll tell you, I can find it here. Okay. So, Nadine Gordimer, you've all heard of, she said that the art of Africa is known as a casualty of colonial exploitation, surviving principally in the museums of other countries, never seen by the people who created it. And that's really a very, very sad thing. Very sad. But the Shangaan now are creating this new art form, which they are sharing, which we can acquire, which when I saw them, I said, wow, these are so beautiful, such work. And each one is not done by a single person. They probably have 4 or 5 different people working on it. Jeff?
Are the tapestries readily available? I mean, aside from offering you and Mike thousands of dollars, how else could we get one?
You know, I'll give you the name of the place. They are in good galleries. And you can even go and visit them in the Limpopo province and see where they work. But I've got a contact. I happen to have bought these pieces in good gallery when I was visiting. I walked in. I wanted to buy more, but Mark would have killed me. And you know, I never thought that I was a collector. I never thought it till I met Helen. She said, "You're a collector." I said, I'm never. I've just adorned my house. I just love this art. You know, I put it on the walls. I had a red passage, and I didn't display all those pieces, actually. But I never thought of myself as a collector, but I suppose I am, actually.
How much did you pay?
You know, I've forgotten. I've forgotten. I never remember that. I surreptitiously pay with my own credit card. I don't tell Mark anything, you know. So that's the way we've always lived our lives.
You said you were a teenager. The two carvings.
You know, the two carvings, I'm so ashamed to say, I didn't know the artist's name. I don't know, I went home and I got money, I guess my pocket money or whatever, in those days. I have no recollection what I gave this carver. I can tell you that an uncle of mine who ran a gallery and was an art connoisseur saw this man with a fat stomach. He said to me, "Sybil, you have bought something fabulous. That's a marvelous piece of work." And once I had that encouragement, I started saving my money. Sassy?
So growing up, I noticed that a lot of the statues, a lot of the wood carvings are of women. And I wondered if any of, did they believe that the wood carvings help with fertility, or just they represent motherhood?
You know, that's a really good question. Most of the wood carvings connect the carver to their ancestors, to the spirit world. They do celebrate women, and I have got a number of couple carvings, a man and a woman. Some are fertility. If you look in the window outside, there's a beautiful fertility doll done in wood by the Ashanti tribe. And at the bottom of that cabinet, there are two beaded dolls. And those are made by young girls to ensure their own fertility.